Africa is a continent whose voices are stifled. Fascination with Africa's lovely scenery and horror at the tragedies that batter it overshadow an understanding view of its everyday reality. Africa calls out, it shouts, but we do not hear. It calls out not for awareness or for solidarity, but for understanding, comprehension of its complex universe. A universe as complex as any other, not the distancing that comes with deeming it an irrational, magical, mysterious world. All those adjectives with which we embellish what we do not know. Africans have their own take on the issues that affect them, on AIDS and emigration, on the power of women and homosexuality, their own way of understanding aesthetics and contact with the gods. In Africa, every day brings debate. There are generational conflicts, cultural misunderstandings, power struggles, but no more or less than on the rest of the planet. But on a continent where the internet has arrived while the tom-tom is still in use, the great debate is the conflict between modernity and tradition, about the model for progress to be confronted by new generations. Africa calls out to tell us of its own particular way of seeing the world, its own world. It calls out to show us how its people see themselves, to offer a way towards understanding and involvement. Deafness is a foundation for racism. Africa calls out for us to open our ears.
There are many problems to talk about the place where we live. Around us, there's pollution and lots of other things. And we're the ones who have to talk about all this. We, the rappers, have to put an end to hypocrisy. We have to uncover it. The country's evolution depends on it. Uncover it so that we, the young people, can change. Rap is something we use against the system, to talk about everything that doesn't work. So this ground, this land, we can't forget it, because this land is us. Africa is us.
AIDS is the greatest human tragedy to have occurred in Africa in its entire history. A silent tragedy which is still taboo for most of the continent's cultures. But the numbers are clear and difficult to silence. More than 11 million people have died of AIDS in Africa in recent years. Of the 36 million people who suffer the illness worldwide, 30 million are African. 90% of those affected have no medical insurance or means to pay for treatment. But in this landscape of dramatic statistics, there are oases of hope like Sparrow Rainbow Village. This mini-city was the first residential complex in the world created to serve people terminally ill with AIDS. it is still the only one in Africa. Sparrow Village is almost a city whose 500 inhabitants, mostly children, struggle to shake off the threat of death.
This is our tree of remembrance, and you can have a look. Not all of the sparrows are on. Basically, all these little sparrows with the little names on and the date of birth and the date of passing away are done in remembrance of those people whom we've lost in the last 10 years. There should be over 700 of these little sparrows on the tree. We've lost over 700 patients in the last 10 years, and it would be significant to put them up here as a tree of remembrance, because these are the people that did not quite make it.
In Sparrow Rainbow Village, it is unusual for a week to go by without a funeral.
The story about this baby is that his mother is 19 years old. She came from the Transkei, which is quite far down in the Cape, and she came up to Johannesburg to try and find a job. Like any young girl of that age, she obviously got sexually involved and got AIDS, not realizing it was less than 2 years ago. She's very ill, and she left the babies with the twins, with the neighbor who was here. And then she just couldn't cope, and she said she'd come back, she'd get money, but obviously she's not earning anything, and she may be living with somebody. We're not here to judge, but she went away and the one baby died. She knew about it, but she wasn't coping again. And we're trying to get hold of her.
Have many children died?
Too many.
Thank you.
Of the 600,000 children with AIDS in the world, 550,000 are African. This is the true drama of AIDS, the drama of the lives of the orphan children, the thousands of broken families, and the children who are homeless or who have inherited the illness. Countless stories like those of these Ugandan children. Akagiya Shirat, 7 years old. His mother died of AIDS in 2001 and his father in a traffic accident in 2002. He lives with his aunt. He carries the virus and suffers frequent bouts of malaria. Junior Edito, 4 years old. His father died of AIDS and his mother sells fruit in the market. He lives with her. Patricia Nauyanzi, 6 years old. Her mother was a prostitute in Kampala and died in 2000. She lives with her grandmother. She suffers frequent bouts of malaria. Jaliya Kawadele, 3 years old. Her father died of AIDS in 2000 and her mother lives in the Congo, but nobody knows where. She is a carrier of the virus. She lives with her aunt.
Watch and forget. Cause even on and on, Jolly Bo Alto Scar Blue, Bilal Busu to the clan, Dr. with the Honda Squad, toxic lyrics, they demand only the current couple.
One of the consequences of this catastrophe is the thousands of orphan children who roam the streets of large cities such as Cape Town. Over the last 10 years, because of AIDS, this number has increased threefold.
Africa.